Somebody asked me in one of my videos how I articulate myself, or how I'm so articulate. Like, how do I say things with confidence and with conviction, and how do I not mumble and stutter? And the funny thing is, I actually mumble a lot. I don't stutter so much. Sometimes I'll stutter. I actually remember I was doing a boot camp, my very first boot camp that I ever did, and I was with a group of like eight guys or something. We went on the street and we were in Los Angeles, and it was and I had to go up and talk to girls on the street, and I'm the instructor, so I have to be the one to do it exactly perfectly. I have to do it right. So in my head I was thinking, oh God, I have to do this totally perfectly, and so I can definitely relate to how a lot of us feel, and I know how I felt a lot in my early 20s when I thought I had to do everything perfectly every time I talked to any girl. And so I went up and there were two girls there, and I said, hey, like something like that, and I stuttered, and the girls looked at me, and one girl was like, maybe you should just stop talking, and like kept walking. And I had like 5 guys behind me, I was the instructor, and I'm like, oh God. That was probably the worst that was probably the worst first demonstration, I guess you would call it, that you could possibly have. But it was funny. I laughed it off, and we ended up doing fine later. But it just goes to show you that the reason that I think I stuttered in that situation is because I was anticipating what I had to say, and I was anticipating the way that I thought I had to behave, right? So, stuttering is if you have a really big problem stuttering, that's something else. But if you stutter sometimes, there's actually nothing wrong with stuttering whatsoever. It's when we think that I can't stutter right now, then we start stuttering. It's because our mind is working faster than our mouth can talk. And it's similar with mumbling. With mumbling, our mind and our mouth are disconnected from each other. So when we mumble, we kind of are thinking that we're saying something, but when we speak, our mouth is just going, and we think we're speaking in our head, because in our head we're talking to ourselves, because we've kind of planned out what we're going to say, and we're mulling over, is this the right thing to say? How should I put this into words? And blah, blah, blah. And we're thinking about speaking in our head, and we're not paying attention to actually the words that are coming out of our mouth. And really the key is, and this is not so easy, but the key is to really connect our mind and our mouth. And the way you connect your mind and your mouth is it's going to sound weird to say this, but again, it's to let go of thinking that you need to say things a certain way, of thinking that you need to say things perfectly. And you just start talking. And really focus on the way that the words are coming out of your mouth. And if you listen to a lot of times, sometimes I talk really, really fast in my videos and in some other footage that I have and just in person. But sometimes I actually stop and I deliberately speak very slow. And it's kind of like, if you listen to it, there's a little bit of a rhythm to it, like this, right? So the way that I like to think about it is just thinking that when you let things flow, give yourself a little pace and breathe a little bit into it. And when you learn how to breathe and how to stop thinking, the words that come out of your mouth are much more melodic, and they kind of sound like this. So one great easy trick to do is to start accentuating the words that you speak on a little bit of a beat. So try that and start just accentuating words like this. And when words flow, let them flow with the natural rhythm of your heartbeat. Let them flow with the natural rhythm of your breath. And focus on your breathing, and focus on your eye contact, and relax into the moment. And when you start doing that, you see, it sounds kind of weird to say it like that. But you see, when I'm speaking now, I'm kind of going back into regular speaking, but if you notice, there's still a little bit of a rhythm. So start practicing that rhythm, because when you can practice on the rhythm of your breath, the rhythm of your heartbeat, and it's actually basically, it's the natural rhythm of the world. You start kind of getting in touch with that, and your mind calms down a little bit, and it stops over, the gears are turning and turning and turning and turning in your head, and you're going like this. And you can kind of go, and slower, and slower, and slower. And when you start doing that, it's really hard to stutter in situations like that. And it's really hard to mumble in situations like that, because you have to speak clearly. So try that out. Let me know how it goes. You're in a conversation with people, and you're looking around, you have to kind of talk to everybody, and when it's your turn to talk, 4 people are looking at you, so you kind of get this like, oh, I don't know what to say.
and then you say something stupid, maybe, right? And and then in your head you're thinking, oh, that was so stupid. Why did I say that?